If you decide that you want to try soccer kicking, the objective is still to hit the ball at the sweet spot. But in order to do that, you have to change your approach. Most soccer guys come from the side. They're going to be normally about 2.5 to 3 yards back and a couple of yards over. I've got with me Rick Walsh, who was a kicker for New Mexico State University. He was an All-American and is right now trying to make it with the pros as a kicker. He's going to be doing some demonstration here for soccer. But first, I want you to understand that whenever you kick the football, you still have to hit the ball with your foot. But in this case, you're going to be hitting the ball with the top of the foot. You're going to be almost doing it like you're punting. Your ankle is going to be locked down and out. You're going to be hitting the ball with the hard bone of the foot down here. The ball is going to be placed right across that. Now, in Rich's case, Rich likes the ball leaned over a little bit so that it fits his foot. And you more than likely will have to do the same thing. You'll have to find the angle here that you want the ball to be held so that you can hit the ball on that sweet spot every time. Now, he's picked out a point. As you notice, he took his steps back. He took 3 steps back and 2 steps over. Now, you may have to adjust that in order for you to be able to find your steps, to make sure that your steps get you to the football so that your plant foot is in the same place every time. Now, both in straightaway and soccer, your plant foot may vary from person to person, because what you're wanting to do is find the position that your foot needs to be so that you can best find that sweet spot and hit it every time. It could, most of the time, it's about 6 inches out and 6 inches back, or it could be any variance there. But you'll find that once you practice enough, you'll get to the point where you know where your plant foot has to be in order to hit this ball in the right place. Okay. Now you see his ankle is locked down. He's coming into the ball. His plant foot is a little bit further over than I said. I said 6 inches. He's more like a foot or so. But that's because he's leaning. If you notice, his body is still leaning out somewhat. His momentum is going through the football. His plant foot is bent somewhat. Now, when he hits the ball, his plant leg will straighten out, and this foot will follow straight through, all the way through at the target. And at the same time now, if you'll notice that his hips are facing the target, his hips are facing the goalpost. That's probably the most important thing that you need to remember as a place kicker if you're going to kick soccer style, is that when you hit the ball, every time, your hips should be facing the target. Because if your hips are facing to the right, like this, open it up this way, and you follow through, you're going to push the ball to the right. If your hips have already come around to the left, you're going to pull the ball off to the left. So if your hips, for coaches, if you're watching your kicker now, if you can watch his hips, they're going to determine where the ball's going at impact. So that's a very important rule to remember. Okay, I think you've got a good picture of what it takes to be a successful soccer kicker for field goals. But remember, we're still shooting for the sweet spot every time. We've got to get there, but it takes a lot of work. And remember, to be a natural, you have to practice over and over to get to the point that where it's just like breathing or walking. Every time your steps are the same, your approach is the same, your plant foot is the same, your leg swing is the same, and your follow-through is always the same, right at the center of the target, with your hips facing the direction that you're shooting for.